Hi, this is Craig Donosty with the Start House, and I'm here today to talk about Scarpa's new Freedom SL. So ignore the Solomon on my shirt. Or the wrong shirt today. Anyway, this is one of the better ski touring boots that is available this year. Scarpa really kind of went all out, went back to the drawing board, and they came up with a phenomenal boot that is probably the closest thing to a pure alpine boot with touring capability. The touring capability comes from the fact that it has an excellent walk mode. It has Dynafit fittings, and you notice this little red thing here. That means these are genuine Dynafit inserts. If you don't see that little red thing on a boot you buy this year, that doesn't mean the inserts don't work, but they're not genuine Dynafit inserts. Another thing about this boot here, so besides the Dynafit inserts, there's a sole block here to allow you to use it in an alpine binding. This is similar to what Salomon and K2 are doing. They're calling it walk to ride, but Scarpa isn't calling it walk to ride because it's not licensed as walk to ride, but it's the same concept. And if that doesn't give you the warm fuzzies, you can change these sole blocks to get an Alpine DIN sole block. And the good news on that is, it's not just that you're changing the sole block, you're not screwing into plastic. These blocks are screwing into T-nuts in a carbon fiber reinforced frame, which is part of how Scarpa manages to take a lightweight boot. This is 8 pounds per pair, give or take, depends upon what size you're at. That carbon reinforcing gives you a really laterally stiff boot, also stiff when you lock everything down, but yet it has an amazing range of motion when you put it in tour mode. It's a 4-buckle boot, overlap closure here. That's part of what provides the progressive flex. Standard power strap on the top, and your 2 cuff buckles come with a touring tooth on each of them so that when you loosen up these buckles, they don't come loose, at least not easily. You got to work at it to get them out. And then it's got an Intuition liner. So the liner is heat moldable. It's got rubber on the bottom, so you got some grip if you end up using this around camp or as your hut shoe. And then multiple density foam, just some neoprene around the toe to make it soft to allow your foot to expand or contract, because on some days your foot may be a little bit larger. And then everything else is heat moldable with a soft neoprene pocket right here on the Achilles zone, so that it makes this whole cuff more flexible when you're in tour mode, because this ends up being the limiting factor to how far you can flex the cuff. I mean, if I put this cuff in tour mode, which it is right here, and there's no liner in, you will be able to see that I can really flex that a long ways back. Okay, but the reality is, when I'm actually wearing them, okay, this is locked, and I'll demonstrate. That gives you some sense of the forward flex. I mean, you can't feel that, but you can see that I'm not moving it too far. It's rated about 120 on the flex scale, and of course there's no universal definition for that, but it's one of Scarpa's stiffer boots. Then to go into tour mode, I just flip this lever up here. Now I'm not even going to loosen these yet, and you'll see that this is one of the amazing things about this new Scarpa tour mode is even without loosening the buckles, I get a large range of motion. And then if I take the time to loosen things up, then I get a huge range of motion. So if you're on a long climb, you're going to really appreciate this. Or if you happen to be using these boots inside the boundaries and you just want to go for a drink afterwards, you're not going to feel like you have to change to new boots. You can, we call this bar mode, so you can enjoy the Scarpa Freedom in bar mode. And I guess one last thing, this is really kind of the bottom line with everything. Being that it has an Intuition liner, these boots are really comfortable, and you're going to love that on a long tour. That's it.